I'm so excited for today's video. We're going to be doing my best of 2019, all of my favorite finds for the year. That could be something that launched this year, or it could be something that I was sort of late to the game on and discovered this year. Now, earlier this year, I did do a two-part series of my Holy Grail products. I haven't been completely active on YouTube for a full year yet, but I really wanted to start this tradition so that I'll have something at the end of the year to be able to see what I love. Now, what I'm going to do is compare my current finds to my Holy Grail products. Maybe they are bumped off the list, maybe they still stand out and shine, or maybe a little of both. If you're interested in my Holy Grail products, I will go ahead and link the playlist right above. That playlist will have my 2 Holy Grail videos in it if you'd like any more details on some of the products that I'm mentioning today. Now, if you love these types of best of makeup videos, please give this a like. It will really help out my channel. And if you are new to my channel, I'd love if you'd subscribe so you don't miss out on any new videos. But let's go ahead and jump right into all of the things I loved in 2019. So earlier in the year, my Holy Grail primers were the First Aid Beauty Coconut Smoothie Moisturizing Primer, the Becca Backlight Priming Filter, and also the Smashbox Crystallized Primerizer. Now, I would say that all of those I still really love, so there's nothing on that list that I would necessarily bump off, but I do have 2 new additions. So I think this was in a BoxyCharm earlier this year. I received the Touch in Soul No Pore Blem Primer, and what I love this primer for actually is on days where I'm not really going to be wearing much makeup. So on days where I'm just looking to smooth out the texture of my skin and have that blurred effect. I love this. Now, this other product, it sort of slid in right at the end of this year, and that is the Glossier Future Dew Oil Serum Hybrid. Now, I did just get this month, but I can tell you from the first day I tried it, it's hard to put down. I love the healthy finish that this gives to the skin. It almost feels like it helps to plump the skin, and I think that's because of some of the really beneficial ingredients in this product. I did use it in my recent Nice List video if you'd like some more details on this, but this is definitely one that I can see using and repurchasing in the future. So these are 2 of my favorite finds this year. Now this one is really kind of blowing me out of the water. I had chosen for my base or foundation products the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Tinted Gel, and also the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Stick. Those are really both truly beautiful, and I also mentioned the MAC Face and Body. Now, the product that I think is actually going to bump the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Tinted Gel off the list is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer. If you guys watch that other Holy Grail video, you'll know the Bare Minerals is still really beautiful. I love it. I have gone through tubes and tubes of that, but hey, this one is so much less expensive, and I think that the finish is a little bit nicer. The tinted gel can be a little bit more slippy on the skin, where I feel like this one actually tends to set down into the skin a little bit more easily. And for the price, you just can't beat it. The only thing that I wish is that this one had a sunscreen in it, so that's one sort of con to this product, but I really enjoy this. I was so happy when ColourPop launched this, so this is one that I would like to add to the list. And I do have one more foundation, which is really unlike any of the products on my Holy Grail list currently, and that is the Beyond Matte Liquid Foundation from Jane Iredale. If you guys saw my video, I was actually sent this foundation through Influencer, so Jane Iredale and Influencer paired up, and I was gifted this product. I certainly wasn't asked to do a review on it or anything on YouTube. They probably don't even know that I did it, but I really ended up loving this. The way that I know that there's something that I'm truly falling in love with is when it's hard to switch to something else. And if you guys can feel me, when you have a ton of different products that you purposely want to kind of change around, but there's just something that you're loving so much, it's hard to get away from it. That's how it was for me once I tried this foundation. I will say that this is probably going to be more of my night out, need a little bit more coverage foundation, because this is a bit more coverage than what I usually go towards, and it has a little bit less of a glow factor to it than I prefer in my everyday today, but it is very refined and beautiful, and I've really been enjoying it. Now, for concealer, in my last video, I had chosen the Too Faced Born This Way Sculpting Concealer and Maybelline Fit Me. I really love both of those still. Obviously, the Too Faced is definitely more of a medium to full coverage, whereas the Fit Me is a little bit softer, more like light to medium coverage. But I do have 2 products that I would like to talk about. Now, this one, I will say, I don't necessarily want to say it bumps both of those products off, but it's really almost like the perfect in between, and that is the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Concealer. Now, I'm honestly not sure what's going on with Flower Beauty because this product is usually at Ulta and I can't find it online at Ulta anymore. I'm wondering if Flower Beauty just has it online on their own website, but I'm really hoping that they're not discontinuing this because I truly love it. I like that the coverage is really a good medium coverage. I wouldn't say it's super full. I enjoy that it isn't incredibly dewy. Like, it's just enough to where I don't feel like my under eyes look dry, but it's also not going to be so dewy that it like slides all over the place. So I really hope that Flower isn't discontinuing this product. I haven't really seen yes or no either way. Maybe they're just getting a little bit harder to find. Another one that I would like to mention is the Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector. So this really is something that you certainly can use just on its own, but it really can be layered with concealer to help get that perfect finish. So because this has that peachy tone, it really helps cancel out any bluish purple tones under your eyes. Again, in my nice list video, I use this just on its own, but if you're looking for full coverage and that complete flawless finish, you can go ahead and layer over the top of this with your favorite concealer. I will say that this is a very highly emollient product, so a little goes a long way, and I would make sure to try out a couple different formulations of concealer just to make sure it's one that's going to layer well. All right, so for powder, I listed the Hourglass Veil Setting Powder, the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder, and the RCMA No Color Powder. No changes here, it's all still the same. Honestly, you guys, I really have no desire to change from the Hourglass Veil Setting Powder. That is really just the one that I think looks the most natural. It takes just a tiny amount of product to get a beautiful finish. Obviously, I do still love the Ambient Lighting Powder, the one that's more in the compact, but that has a little bit more glow to it, so it just depends on the finish that I'm looking for the day, but Hourglass products are just so beautiful. So these are all still on my list. They're so great. The RCMA one is such a budget-friendly option, and it does have a really natural finish to it. So I think I did try a couple powders this year, but honestly, it's just not something that I was searching for because I found ones that I love already. So for bronzers, I listed the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, the Balm Bahama Mama, and the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer. You guys will hear that there's a lot of Hourglass in this video. Now, I will say that I truly love all of those bronzers still, but one that made it into my collection this year that I adore is the Marc Jacobs Tantastic Bronzer. So this product is one of those things that I snagged during one of the VIB sales, and it is just so lovely. And I think because it is such a big pan of product, dollar for dollar, it's not as expensive as it seems. So I really do like that this blends out so lovely. I would say it has almost more of like a satin finish. I mean, it's not as satin as like the butter bronzer is, but it's not completely matte. So it just blends so beautifully. Of course, it's gorgeous. So this is definitely my favorite powder that I found this year. Now, this is the year that I truly embraced my love for cream products. So you will find that there are quite a few cream loves in this video, and one that I was so excited to find this year was the Bare Minerals Bare Pro Glow, and this is in the shade Faux Tan. So this I found in search for something that would be a dupe for the Cover FX Sunkissed drops, and those were discontinued quite a while ago, and I adored those, and this is really the closest dupe I've found. I've really searched high and low, and this is one that I love. If you'd like to see more details, I will link the video where I compare this to the Cover FX. This is a great one if you're looking for something to replace that. And also, I have to say that I really enjoy the Milk Makeup Bronzing Stick. This is the baked shade, and one of the things that I love about this is the true blendability that it has. It really just goes on so creamy and dries down just to that like natural finish. Now, the best thing about this Milk Makeup Bronzer is the fact that it is so big. Dollar for dollar, you really get a lot of bang for your buck with this. I love the finish, I love the color. The only thing I don't love is the scent. It has that sort of like clay Play-Doh smell, but I can get past that. It's not like it lingers. This is definitely such a beautiful cream stick bronzer. I really do enjoy the Physicians Formula Bronzer as well, but I think that this one just blends a little bit better, and it's definitely my favorite cream stick bronzer of the year. All right, moving right along. For blush, we had the Milani Luminoso, such a classic, the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush, Of course, I still love those. Now, I specifically mentioned the Dim Infusion shade, which is still probably my favorite of those tones, but I really do love all of the ambient lighting blushes. And I also mentioned the Becca Mineral blushes. Those are discontinued at this point. Now, the powder blush that I absolutely have to mention that I just adored this year is the Kathleen Lights and ColourPop collab from her Zodiac collection, and this is I Need Space. This is such a gorgeous blush. You could wear it with anything. It sort of has that like satin finish, so there's no shine to it, but it just gives that skin-like quality. I really love this. I did just buy it in the pan and then purchased the like compact that goes with it. They did come out with ones that now come with a compact, so I think you could actually get that in different packaging, but that blush tone is just beautiful. That was my first ColourPop powder blush that I've tried, and it certainly did become a favorite of mine. Now, the other product that I of course need to mention is the Flower Blush Bombs. It's not a secret that I love these. If you've watched many of my videos, I think that these, for their money, are such a great cream product. These really blend beautifully. They have some really nice shades. I've definitely been trying a few cream blushes. Let me know if you guys want to hear a comparison on some of them, because it's something that I really got into this year, but this is definitely my favorite so far. There are a couple out there that I really want to try still, but sort of been pacing myself, you know? So this is definitely my favorite. This is the shade Pinched, and I believe I also have the shade Nectar. Those are probably my top two favorites, and this is really great when you're looking for that natural flush cheek. I really love these, and these are definitely a favorite of 2019. For highlighters, I had listed the Makeup Geek highlighter in Daybreak, the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Vanilla Quartz, and the Ofra highlighter in Rodeo Drive. Now, I would say that all of those are definitely still on my list. The Becca Vanilla Quartz is probably still like my number one top, but I will say that one powder that I've really loved this year, it's an Ofra product because they have such beautiful highlights, but this is Pillow Talk, and for me, this sort of pinky shade is very different than what I would normally go towards, but I love the fact that this really gives a beautiful ethereal glow, but it's not too icy to the point where it looks like you are a bubblegum Tin Man. So I really enjoy this one. If you are looking for a beautiful pinkish highlighter, I would check this one out. Again, back to the cream products, one thing that I have to add to this list that I truly adore are the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Hello Halo Liquid Highlighters. Kind of a long-winded name, but they are worth the oxygen. So I have 3 shades in this, so you know that I truly love it. I have Rosy and Ready, which is more of a pink shift. I have Gilded Glow, which is more a little bit gold, but not super gold. And then Halo Goodbye, which I believe is the first one that I got, which is like a pinky champagne. These are incredible liquid highlighters for the price especially, but just in general. I love that these look really glossy and luminous on the skin, but they don't build up a crazy amount of texture. You can sheer them out a little bit more, you can wear them a little bit more blinding, and for the price of Wet n Wild, these truly can't be beat. So if you're looking to sort of dabble in the world of liquid highlighters, but you haven't done that yet, I would definitely recommend these Wet n Wild ones. Now let's talk setting sprays. I mentioned the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist and the Tarte Stay Spray. I do really like both of those. It's been a little while since I've used the Morphe one, just because, in all honesty, I have a lot of setting sprays open right now, so I'm trying to use them up. But I did find, and I mentioned in my Holy Grail video, that the reason I chose the Stay Spray over the Urban Decay is that it's a little bit less expensive, and I thought that they were about the same. The only thing is, sometimes I find myself going back to the Urban Decay because of the spray that it has. Now, the Stay Spray has a finer, like less mist, but the Urban Decay has more of like a skin drenching mist, if that makes any sense. So I definitely have wibble wobbled back to this one. I think that this is going to be one that I truly always love. The other product that I want to mention, while technically is a setting mist, I actually use it more as like a hydration or glow mist, and that is the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist. So because this does have hyaluronic acid in it, I actually sometimes use it before I put on any products, and I feel like it just gives me that little bit of moisture. It helps me blend in any foundation, but I do also use this as a setting mist when I'm looking for something that's just going to set down any powder. I don't actually think it gives you any longevity, but it does help get rid of that powdery finish. So this is one that I'm glad to have in my collection in 2019. All right, are you guys still with me? Let me know down below if you're surprised by any of these, or if you knew some of these were going to be on my list. So for eye primers, I mentioned MAC paint pots and the Urban Decay Primer Potion, especially in Eden. So honestly, those are still the two I use. Because primers just last and last forever. But the other reason is those are truly just the ones that I love. I will usually just use concealer if I'm not needing something that lasts extra long, or I'm not feeling like I'm doing a look that is going to benefit from like the tacky feel that a primer might have. But these are still, again, the two that I use all the time. Usually the MAC paint pots more spring and summer, and then the Urban Decay when my skin is a little bit more dry, just because I find that the creamy finish of that is a little less drying. All right, so eyeshadow palettes. Now I was surprised when I went through my collection that I didn't have more eyeshadow palettes this year. So I guess I'm proud of myself, but also a little surprised. What I had mentioned was the Kathleen Lights and ColourPop collab in the Dream Street palette, still a love of mine. The Too Faced Gingerbread Spice. Again, if you guys can snag that one. I did actually end up buying the extra spicy in the recent sale, plus I had the Ulta coupon, plus the points, etc., etc. But I haven't cracked into it yet, so I will give you guys a review on that soon. But definitely the original is beautiful. I know Too Faced has sort of been launching it and then taking it back, and launching it and taking it back. If you get a chance, I definitely recommend it. And then I just gave a general mention to Makeup Geek shadows. I would love to bring back more Makeup Geek users. Now, I really love Makeup Geek shadows. I think the quality is so great. They're such a great price, and the beautiful thing about single shadows, especially if you're someone who doesn't want a huge collection, let's say you maybe stick with your neutrals, add in a little pop of color here and there, or let's say you're someone who uses mostly mattes, or you really love having amazing shimmers, it's a perfect way to specifically make your own collection. And so that's something that I would recommend to you guys. If you would like to see a couple looks using Makeup Geek shadows, let me know, and I would be certainly happy to do that. Just leave a comment in the description bar, and that will tell me that that's something that you guys are interested in. Now, I have to say, some of these palettes for this year aren't going to surprise you that much. Two of them are ColourPop, shocker, and the first one is the Honey palette. This was so exciting for me because I love yellow everything, but I love yellow shadows. This is obviously one of their sort of monochromatic 9-pan palettes. This is the only monochromatic palette that I bought. It's just the one that spoke to me the most. I think yellow shadow until this year wasn't something that you see a lot in palettes, so it was a great way for me to have a multitude of finishes. And I honestly am not sure if I ever actually filmed a look with this, so that will be coming soon, because I think in the winter we could use like a bright sunny look, so I will definitely do that for you guys. This is one that you can still get. It's a great price, and ColourPop, their formula is just really hard to beat. So that's one that for the price, I really recommend picking up. Now, the other palette I of course need to talk about is the So Jaded Kathleen Lights collab. This is such a beautiful palette. The reason that I put this on my favorites list for this year is there's just so many options in this palette. And the thing that I love is once you really start swatching and playing with these shades, they're much less intimidating than they might look in the pan. And I talked about that in my recent video, where everything is just a little softer than what it looks like in the pan, so you can really create some beautiful wearable shades. So for the price, this is such a beautiful palette, and it's definitely one of my favorites. All right, another one that kind of slid in there at the end of the year is a brand that I had actually never tried as far as shadows before. Actually, I think this might be the first thing in general I tried from the brand, and that is the Huda Beauty Obsessions palette, specifically in the mauves. Now, I just recently did my naughty and nice looks for the holidays, and this was one of the palettes that I used for the naughty look. I did also use the Ruby Obsessions palette, but this mauve set is so lovely, and I think that because it has these little bit of cool tone transition shades, it's something that's so fun just for a grab and go palette. And that's one thing that I like about these sort of monochromatic looks is it's pretty unintimidating, because it's easy to just go, well, all these colors are going to go together, and then you can just pick 2 or 3 and you easily come up with an eye look. It is one of the palettes that I used on my eyes today. I do have a couple others kind of mixed in here because I was just playing with makeup as we do, but I love this one. I'm so glad that I picked this up. Like I said in that video, I did pick it up when Sephora was having a sale, and I snagged it during the 20% off as well. I would definitely consider buying another palette from this brand. All right, another one that isn't going to change, and I honestly can't see it anytime soon, and that is eyeliner. I mentioned the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner. Still my favorite. Love the brush tip. It's just the one that I compare to everything else, and everything else I try, it's sort of like, This is okay, but the tattoo liner is just so great. I love the accuracy that it has. It's really nice and black, and it's been one that has been in my makeup collection for a very long time. Now, one product that I mentioned that is really more of like a glitter topper is the Stila Glitter and Glow Shadows. I love them. If you haven't tried any out, I highly recommend it. I think I talked in the Sephora VIB sale video about taking advantage of the little mini kits that they have, usually a couple times a year. Both Ulta and Sephora get little 3-packs of the shades so you can try them out. They're beautiful, they're so easy to apply. However, one product that I tried this year that is a similar sort of like shadow topper, or it could be a shadow on its own, are the Hourglass Scattered Light Shadows. Now, these don't have the same finish as the Stila ones do, but they again have a little bit of glitter. I would say that these are a much more refined sparkle. The reason that I tried these out was because Hourglass came out with a trio of smaller sizes for the holidays. So I thought, well, this is a great way to get 3 colors to try. It's a little bit less product because let's face it, how soon are you going to go through a whole glitter shadow? Not very soon. So this is the shade Ray, and I'm going to swatch this one for you guys if I can get in here, because this is definitely one of their more popular shades. Now, the one thing that I will say about the smaller pot packaging is it's harder to get your finger in than in the like full size. Now, these are a much finer like micro glitter, so if you guys can see that, hopefully that the camera is going to pick it up. These are beautiful to just dust on top of the lid with your finger or a flat shader brush to get that sparkle, and it's something that's going to be great for any age. I know Jamie Page refers to these as mature sparkle, which I think is so accurate because it's really a glisten that anybody could work with, and it's going to be appropriate on any skin type as well. So if you want a little bit of sparkle but you're not wanting to enhance eyelid texture, this is a great way to go. They are really lovely. If this holiday kit is still available, I would really recommend it because the shades in it are very beautiful. Now for brows, I have definitely turned into a Benefit girl. I mentioned the Gimme Brow and the 24-Hour Brow Setter. Those are still 2 of my favorites. The only thing that I would like to add into that is the Ardell Stroke-A-Brow Feathering Pen. This has truly changed my life. This is a felt tip pen that really helps you get those little hair-like strokes. So oftentimes what I'll do is add in some hairs and then throw Gimme Brow over the top for some tint and fullness, and then use the 24-Hour Brow Setter over the top of that just for that maximum hold. Now, I've really been enjoying doing a bit more feathery brow, so usually I'll use that 24-Hour Brow Setter to sort of flick my brow hairs up, but the Gimme Brow on its own just is such a quick way to like sweep through your brows, have a little bit of definition. So that's definitely something that I still love, but this Ardell pen is so inexpensive and such a great way to get a little bit more texture added into your brows. If you haven't seen this in action, I will link my feathery brow routine so you can see me using actually all 3 of those products together. Now for mascara, you guys will all know that I mentioned the L'Oreal Telescopic Carbon Black. That is still my ride or die mascara. I just can't get away from it. Even if I'm using another mascara, usually I will always use that one to go ahead and give my lashes a coat almost as a primer. The one product that I do want to talk about is the Hourglass Caution Mascara. Now, I just have the little mini right here, which is kind of a bummer because I think I talked about this in a recent video, but the packaging of it makes it really hard to use on the lower lashes. But the reason I opened it up was because so many people were talking about the longevity that it has. And I have been struggling so much in finding a mascara that does not smudge. I don't know if it's the fact that I'm using more moisturizers or that I'm using more emollient concealers, but you guys know I don't love to set the bejesus out of my face, so I don't have like a truly set down powdered face all the time, and I think that that's why my lower lashes especially can smudge. But even with, you know, working, like I'm a hairdresser, so sometimes if I'm like shampooing and I'm tilted over, I feel like just having my eyes tipped, sometimes my mascara can smudge on the top. So I wanted to give this one a go to see if it really did work as well as what people said it did, and it does. The thing that really makes it worth it is not only does it not go anywhere, but it creates beautiful, thickened, separated lashes. So this is something that I can see definitely getting the full size of once I use this. And that's hard for me to say because I don't love splurging on high-end mascaras. A lot of times I just haven't found them to be worth it, but this is one that I will definitely be adding into my full-time rotation. All right, so for lip prep, I talked about the Bite Agave lip balm and the Bite Agave lip mask, which is so funny because the one product I want to talk about is the Bite Agave Plus Night Lip Treatment. I don't have it right now because it's in my bedroom, because that's where I put it on at night, but I will put a picture of it up here. Right now, Bite is kind of going through this whole revamp, making all of their products vegan, but I do think that that is one that was already vegan, so it should still be available right now, but I truly love all three of those products. They're some of my favorite. The thing that I love about the night treatment is it's just a little bit more nourishing. I do also love the lip mask because if you get it in the tinted version, it's a great way to have some hydration and gloss to your lips, but still be protecting and nourishing your lips. And also the balm is such a great like waxy smooth balm. So I guess they're still all favorites of mine. The whole Bite collection, I really think it's hard for Bite to do anything wrong when it comes to lips. Now for lip pencils, I mentioned the ColourPop Lippy Pencil in Lumiere, the Jordana Easy Liner lip pencils, especially in Tawny and Rock and Rose. Those are two of my most used. And then the Sephora Rouge Gel Lip Crayons. So you guys have probably heard me talk about how I'm far too lazy to use pencils that need to be sharpened. The ColourPop Lippy pencils are one exception to that rule. And this year I found another exception. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat and Pillow Talk. And it kills me to love this so much. A, because it's a sharpenable pencil and I hate having to do that. And B, it's so expensive. However, this is just the perfect shade for so many different tones of color. It's like a pinky nude and I find that it works really well with my natural lip color. And also the texture of this is just perfect. It's just creamy enough that it slides on really nicely, but just firm enough that it's gonna really last a long time. So that's really important to me because I do like to define my upper lip, especially by the Cupid's bow a little bit more. So if I use something that's too creamy, it kind of slides away and then I'm left without as much definition to my lips. And because I've been using so much more creamy and glossy products this year, I needed something that had some longevity, and this is definitely the best one I found in 2019. Now for lip color, I'm gonna tell you guys, I don't think I bought a single lipstick this year. I really don't think I did. And part of that is because my collection has kind of just gotten out of control. I think it's going to take a long time to go through one tube of lipstick. So this year there really wasn't anything that intrigued me, but all of these that I listed are still wonderful. What I talked about, one of these is discontinued. It's the Revlon Just Bitten Kissable Balm Stains. I don't think that you can find those anymore. If you can find some, snag them because they're awesome. But the Revlon HD Gel Lipstick, the one that's in like the long skinny tube, is amazing. The Urban Decay Vice Lipstick in the sheer formula, especially the shade Ex-Girlfriend, again, another favorite of mine. The ColourPop Lippy Sticks are so beautiful. I love the shade Lumiere. That shade is in my purse at all times. And then I talked about the ColourPop Ultra Satin Lip Formula. If you prefer something that's more of like a liquid lip formula, those are great. And the Ofra Liquid Lipstick if you're going for something matte. I'll be honest, matte lipsticks aren't something that I really ever turn to, but the Ofra ones are the ones that I will tend to use if it is something that I need for longevity's sake. All right, final category from the Holy Grail videos, and that is lip gloss. Now, I mentioned in the video that I only wanted to talk about one because it's the one that I compare everything to, and that's the Buxom Full-On Lip Polishes and Lip Creams. Now, I have so many of these, and that's partially one reason why I didn't really purchase a lot this year, because it's going to take me a long time to go through all this lip gloss. But the other reason is I truly just love these, and I find that I'm not really lacking for anything. So the lip creams have more of a creamy finish, and then the polishes are more of like a slightly iridescent glitter finish. These, I love the fact that they have that cooling, plumping feel to them. So like that minty, cool feel. They don't burn at all, but they definitely make your lips feel a little like plump. So I love these, but I am so surprised because I have one more lip gloss that doesn't necessarily bump this out of the running, but they are probably like neck and neck. All right, let's talk about it. You guys probably know I'm referring to the Fenty Gloss Bombs. Now this is the little mini fussy that will be going out for my giveaway winner soon. I can't find my full-size fussy. I think it's probably in my purse, but I did talk about it in my video where I did the giveaway, which is the nice looks. If you want to see swatches and what that looks like, you can go ahead and check that video out, but I am so surprised how much I like this gloss. I think I bought it just because it was like, all right, what's the hype about? I need to try this. And At first, I put it on and I was kind of like, all right, it's fine. But then I found that, especially because of the shade of it, it was the one that I was pulling out of my purse anytime I just needed to put on something and not really think about it. And I find that the fussy shade really goes well with so much. It's that perfect kind of like creamy, slightly pinky, not too nude, not too bright pink. So I really do love that shade. I also have really been enjoying, this is limited edition. I'm hoping that they bring out more colors, but this is the Cheeky shade from the Glossy Posse set. And that was one of her holiday sets. I'll show you guys here. It looks kind of intimidating in the tube. They all are much more sheer than what they show up in the tube, but this is sort of like a fiery coral shade, and it's so pretty. It has little like flecks of shimmer in it, but not like overly glittery. The thing that I love about these is the formula is a little bit thicker and creamier, so it fills in any like lines that you may have a little bit, which I definitely have, so it makes the lips look more youthful and plump. It doesn't have that minty feel or that plumping feel that the Buxom ones do, but this really has such a beautiful finish. And again, they're so easygoing. You could definitely use them with a lip liner, which is a way that I love using it, just because the colors are a little bit more sheer. You're going to get a little bit more of a refined look, but you certainly could use any of these, just swipe it on and go. And so looking around, I think that this is definitely in my top 3 finds of the year, which is saying a lot considering that I have been using those Buxom glosses forever and ever, amen. Okay, so a category I'd like to add in to my best of 19 that I didn't do in my Holy Grail is most used tools. And this is something that I wanted to add because I found one tool in specific that I really enjoyed, but I thought it would be a great way to sort of look back and see the products that I found that I was just reaching for every day to apply my makeup. Now, the first one, of course you guys know, is the Beauty Blender Blusher. Now, I didn't find this year, but it's definitely still a mainstay. I try a bunch of different sponges and I love the texture and size of this one. It's still my ride or die. I definitely have some other sponges in my collection, but this is still the one that I go to when I'm looking for that accuracy and the perfect texture. Now, the tool that made me want to do this category this year is the Fenty 170 setting brush. I bought this brush, in all honesty, just because it's pretty. I'm gonna be real. But when I went in to look at it and I felt it, and it just feels so soft. It feels like you're petting a bunny. You're not petting a bunny. These are vegan bristles. But this just feels so incredibly soft. I love this brush. It's perfect for setting the face. You can use it for a wonderful dust of bronzer, and it's one that is both form and function. So final tool and final product that was a favorite of mine in 2019 is the Sigma blending brush, the E36. If you guys have watched any of my eye tutorials, this is a product that I really have a hard time doing any of my delicate eye looks with. Now, I love high-end brushes like Wayne Goss. I did get some of the Sonia G brushes this year, and those are beautiful, amazing brushes, but the size and the shape of this brush just makes it so unique. Sigma has fairly reasonable prices, and the shape of this is just like the tiniest little blending brush ever. So if you guys can see this brush, it is just the tiniest little, most delicate blending brush. Now, what I like about that is it's so easy to get into your crease. You could even use it to blow out your lower lash line, and it's one that I have several in my collection of, and I can't live without it. So if you are looking to add any tools into your eye collection, I would definitely recommend this one. Whew, all right, we did it. My throat's starting to hurt. I think my voice is starting to go away, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Maybe you found some products you'd like to try out in early 2020 that were on my 2019 list. Let me know if there's something that you think I missed. What did you guys love from 2019? Thank you so much to all of you that have been supporting my channel. And for any of you that are new, thank you so much for checking out my video. I'd love to see you subscribe. I'm going to post a few more videos if you're looking for a little bit more from my world, and I will see you really soon.